Hey guys, I know that this is a different setup, right? But we are back. I know it's been a long time since we have recorded anything, and we have something new for you. So I'm very, very excited for us to do this. We are introducing the Let's Talk About It podcast. You see, we got our little mics going on.
Man.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is what we have been doing behind the scenes. We want to make sure when we came back, we showed up and had our podcast ready. For those that are new to us, of course, my name is Lashawnda.
I'm the mic.
And we're just going to basically start this podcast off with giving you guys an update because it's been about 5 months since we posted.
It's been a minute, man.
It really has. And so we're going to update you guys because a lot of people have been leaving comments, asking us questions about like what's going on. Are we still together? Have we gotten married? Like all these things. But let's talk about the actual podcast first and why we made the decision to start the podcast. You go first.
So I feel like we wanted to do something as a couple to try to put some knowledge out there. And one of the things that me and Shawnda have talked about is in this podcast, we're going to be discussing things that are going on, issues, events, certain things that are happening, especially in like the everyday life of people as well too. And I'm super excited. I don't know why we never thought to do this before. Because we have a lot to talk about.
We
like,
really
all the
do.
time.
Yeah. And one thing that we knew with our YouTube channel, we were like, well, we don't really want to vlog. We don't really want to.
And we don't do pranks.
Yeah,
so,
we don't want to do pranks. We don't necessarily want to be a couples channel per se.
Right.
But we do want to have real conversations. And I feel that all of our videos that do well are the conversational type of videos. So we were like, well, why don't we just do a podcast where we talk about different things? And for the longest, we didn't move forward because we couldn't come up with a name.
And you know what's really funny too is one of our strong points in our relationship is communication.
Yeah.
And it really finally dawned on us one day to be like, we could do this as a podcast.
Exactly.
So I'm so glad we decided to make that initial move.
Right. And then we made the decision to call it Let's Talk About It because that's kind of something that we always say, like when we're communicating with each other, well, let's talk about it.
Right.
So, keeping it short and cute and simple, but that's why we started the podcast. Now, like I said before, we're just going to do a less like, what do you call it? An update type of podcast so that we can answer the questions that you guys had. And Michael has the questions, so I'm going to let you read them.
Yeah, so one of the questions I have is, are we married yet? Unfortunately, no. We are planning to get married this year, however. We have been trying to put in a lot of work behind the scenes of setting ourselves up financially and setting ourselves up to be able to make those kind of moves.
Right. And a lot of things, especially with us not posting as much, we just have not been able to financially prioritize getting married. And we're not going to go into a lot of detail in this episode because our very next episode is going to be talking about why we haven't gotten married and why we're doing something more untraditional whenever we do get married this year. So I don't want to give too much, but in short, we have not gotten married yet, but we are still together. Our relationship is still very, very healthy and good. So I know we saw at least 4 or 5 comments from you guys like, are you guys broken up? Like what's going on? Are you guys like, are y'all still a thing or where y'all at?
Yeah. And to be honest too, guys, we are super excited for the fan base that we have and the positivity that comes from you guys as well too. We've just been putting in a lot of work. I've been working on my weight loss challenge and trying to get this weight off and doing stuff behind the scenes that you guys didn't get a chance to really see. So the fact that we are able to kind of get into this season right now where we're starting to do more content creation.
Right.
Now we have the opportunity to kind of update you guys on what's going on with us.
Right. So. And we we both have been prioritizing our own solo channel. So if you're not already subscribed to us, we've been showing up. We just ain't been showing up over here.
Right.
So, shameless plug to Michael's channel. Is Michael Turturro now, right? Because we just changed it recently.
Yeah, it's Michael Turturro.
Okay,
yeah.
so Michael Turturro, and we'll put all the links like in the description, and then we'll try to put a card so that you can click on it too.
Right.
And then my channel is Lashawnda Smith. So my channel is primarily in reference to business. So if you're starting a YouTube channel for your business or a podcast or something like that, then you'll find benefits with there. Michael's channel is more like motivational. I kind of let you share about your channel.
Yeah, so it's more motivational, more fitness oriented. I still do the prayers on the side of the road on the weekends, which is absolutely, I love it. It's very fulfilling for me. And the cool thing is like on my channel with my journey, I'm getting to where I'm going to start doing a little bit more vlogging of like what I eat and what I do to get the weight off and what I do on a daily. Also, as well with that too, should I show them?
Oh yeah, go ahead, because I'm gonna
So
show mine
I'm
too.
super excited, guys. This right here is one of my fitness planners that she wound up showing me how to actually help create and be able to distribute. And I've actually gotten to a point now where I'm finishing up my sales page to be able to do this online or physical, which is so cool because I've never done anything like that before.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And
So, super excited.
and that's what we were saying. Like, we've been really prioritizing, our future and like the business aspect and just get into another financial bracket. So that way, when we do get married, we can have the type of wedding that we want. And like I said, we'll get into that later, but sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. And he did get his, technically he has two. So they both look very, both look very similar, but he has one on keto and he has one on carnivore. Which one is that one?
This one right here is carnivore.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
And for anyone that's listening to this on like audio format, then hop over to our YouTube channel and then you can see the planner that he's talking about, because we got to remember them. And speaking of planners, I also launched a planner. I actually have 3 different. Well, technically, I have 6 total.
Yeah, you've been putting it in.
I've been putting in work, y'all. So I recently launched a YouTube content planner for business owners, as well as a podcast content planner. And the reason why I said 6 is because both of them have 3 different cover options. But this was something that we both have been working on behind the scenes to help us push our businesses forward. And so we're really trying to get into the e-commerce space. For me, I'm really trying to get into the one-to-many business model. And what that basically means is basically trying to do speaking engagements, showing up on YouTube, doing podcast episodes like this. And so we're just creating the lifestyle and setting things up for ourselves so that we can go after what we want.
Look, we've gotten so far into manifesting that we've got vision boards.
Oh yes, we do.
You've got a vision. She's got a vision board above her desk where she does all her work at, and I've got vision boards above my bed. So as soon as I sit up to get up for my day, I have to look at it.
Right.
And that leads me to, I guess, one of my next questions that we were asked is, what is our 2024? Somebody asked what our 2024 was going to look like. Now, I know for me, we normally have a word that we have every year. Do you want to elaborate?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So because we're at the beginning of the year, because it's still in January or whatever, everything is really fresh. And I want to hit on what you said with the vision boards. This was our very first time creating the vision boards. Neither one of us had ever created a vision board before, and we actually enjoyed it so much. We were like, you know what? We need to make this a tradition. Like, we need to do this every year, because this is the first time where we're so committed to the vision. We're like, we need to see it every day. We need to see it multiple times per day, what we're working towards. We need to be able to get up in the morning, and that's the first thing that we see. And so we were very strategic about where we put our vision boards. And for 2024, my word is dominate. That's the word that I chose for this year. And I also have a phrase. I don't know if you have a phrase for this year. Do you have one? No.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, so I have a phrase for this year as well. My phrase is, it's my turn. And the reason why I chose dominate and the phrase is my turn is because, for one, I plan on getting on YouTube, doing my speaking engagements, doing my podcast, and dominating the industry that I am stepping into. And I have to be willing to commit to the process so that I can reap the results that I'm really, really looking for, and that I feel that I should have already experienced before, but I didn't because of shiny object syndrome, because I was putting other people before me, or whatever the cause was. But now I'm choosing to dominate and be seen. So y'all gonna start seeing us everywhere. For one, we're gonna be everywhere. And then I chose It's My Turn because I've seen so many people in business specifically who has started after me and has seen the success that I feel that I should have seen, but because I wasn't consistent and because I didn't stay committed to the process, I still feel like I'm like at square one. So now I'm like, nah, it's my turn to go after the success that I've been wanting for me and my family, and I'm going to dominate to get there. So that's for me.
Such a beautiful 2020. I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. I think for me, my word for the year is discipline. And I guess if I have to have a phrase, I'd have to say, I need to master myself. And I feel like the reason why I say that is because given the fact that I've never been able to kind of give myself a limit on things, like I overeat or I spend too much money, or, different avenues in my life where I've overindulged and haven't been able to set discipline for myself for moderation, I feel like it's something I want to master this year.
Yeah.
Because not being able to learn how to spend money and not being able to learn how to do things definitely puts things in a stressful situation, especially when it comes down to wanting to get married or wanting to travel or wanting to do things and you haven't saved money up to the side. Right. So my goal for this year is to definitely save up and have a decent savings account for myself and get to a place where $10,000 for me is zero. I'm broke. I have no money. And that's kind of where I would like to be at. The vision boards was absolutely amazing because when you start visualizing the life that you want, you can almost smell it. You can almost feel it. Another thing too, I think for me that is really big, and this is something that you actually helped out with in this past year, is getting a backbone and being able.
That's a whole episode right there.
Right.
Yeah.
Having a backbone and being able to speak up for myself, which is, I guess, leading into more of like setting boundaries. That is another thing this year that will be implemented this year, is setting boundaries.
That's what my word almost was, boundaries. Because every time, like in December, a lot of people start posting like, what is your word for 2024? Da, 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 da. And the word that kept coming up for me was boundaries. Yeah. Because in this year I have, that they don't know this yet, but I have cut a lot of people off. And I have started putting my foot down about certain things. And I'm just like, no, it's going to be different with the amount of access that people have to me. I feel that I have made myself too accessible. And one thing that me and Michael has talked about a lot is people don't value you if they can easily access you all the time. And where we're trying to go, certain people shouldn't be able to easily access us.
Right. And another thing too, piggybacking off of that, whenever I say having a backbone, is a lot of times people say that they keep silent to keep the peace. But whose peace are you keeping? And this coming year, I don't want to just keep the peace for other people and then me be resentful and bitter and stressed out. I'm not going to do that. So moving forward, I'm going to pour into you as much as you pour into me. We can struggle together, but I will not struggle because of you.
Right. And what you just said was really what I was doing. To keep the peace, I would bite my tongue. I would just not say anything. I would get over it because I don't hold grudges. So I would work internally like, oh, okay, well, I mean, you can't change what people do. People can only treat you the way you allow them. And is this really a big deal? Okay, well, I can get over it. But at some point, you do become resentful. And I'm at that stage now where, because I've worked so... You hear that? I don't know if y'all can hear that, but we have the loudest cars that go back and forth. We live out in the
country, and I promise you don't really hear a whole lot until you start recording.
Exactly. But I have grown resentful now because I kept trying to keep the peace. So
Right.
now I have to work on that. I mean, I'm cutting these people off for one, but I still have to work on the resentment that I have created for myself because I've worked so hard to try to keep the peace, as Michael was saying.
Right.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree. I definitely feel like in this relationship, we've given each other, the shoulder to cry on. We've given each other the opportunity to be strong. Where I think before we ever met, there was a lot that needed to be learned. So in this relationship, when you guys ask us, are we still together? We're actually stronger than we've ever been.
Yeah.
The thing is we both have a common goal that we're going after.
Right.
And what we decided to do was go at it in different directions. And I think that's where a lot of the silence from our channel actually came from, because we were pushing out a lot of content, but they were in our own channels. So
Yeah. And then speaking of content creation, I don't know if you've noticed, but our background is different.
I know. I'm so excited about that.
This was another reason why we actually recorded a video for you guys. I want to say, was it November or December?
It was December. It was
December.
yeah.
We have recorded a video for you guys, but we were in the process of reconstructing this back here. And we're going to kind of go into a little more detail. We're going to wrap it up with that.
Okay.
But
That's good.
we were like, okay, let's back up. So before, I had my recording space. Michael wasn't doing a lot of content creation at the time. He was doing like TikToks, but a lot of his TikToks were either in the car or like outside or something like that. And we both had a conversation about the power of YouTube. And we were like, you know what? If we're going to continue doing our couples channel, because at this point we hadn't posted in a minute. Like it had already been about 4 months. And we were like, well, what are we going to do with our couples channel? Because even though we're not prioritizing it at this particular moment, we still love having a couples YouTube channel. And we love having conversations with y'all. Yeah. And we just didn't have a setup for here specifically like that. And every time we tried to record content for you guys, we were not happy with the quality of the content, like what it looked like or just the setup or whatever. So we would end up scratching it. And we finally had the conversation and we were like, we both need our own content creation space. Right. So how can we make this become a reality if we're both committing to creating content? And we made the decision to turn our living room into our recording space. And so where we're sitting right now is technically our living room.
Correct.
And as you can see on this side, this is my recording space. So if you're on my YouTube channel, you've seen this side before. And then on this side is Michael's recording space. So we both have our own walls. And I'll let you talk about your recording space.
Yeah, so when we wound up changing the living room out, which for me was super smart move on our part, because nobody uses this living room.
Right, we don't have people coming to visit us like that other than my mama.
We don't have visitors. The kids are always in the room playing their games and stuff like that. And we just don't use a living room. And we got to a point where I didn't have a space at all. And Shawnda had a space, but it was a very small space.
And I wasn't happy with it.
Right. She was never happy with it. So one day I came up with the idea of, let's just take the living room and put it into the dining room and then turn the living room into a recording space. Now, the cool thing is so my space is more of a dark space, which I love, like the dark wood and stuff like that, and the planters and everything like that kind of went along with my personality and what I felt I was called.
It's more masculine.
But yeah, more masculine. Yeah, and then I got the decals.
They can't hear you. We turn that way.
Oh, and then I got decals that say "Faith can move mountains," which is very big for me because it's my faith that has gotten me to where I'm at today. So when I saw the decals, I was like, "That's it. That's
it was
the one."
Perfect. Yeah, it was.
And then now, of course, I bought little things like the little tree back there that lights up, and little things that is more conducive to my area as well. And then, of course, I had a lot of help by looking at her area, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I want to definitely up my game a little bit." So,
right. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I mean,
No,
cut
you
you off.
good. No, you good. So it's been piece by piece, and when we got to a place where we felt like the area looked really good, then we were like, okay, now we can actually get some content back out there again. But we were just trying to get more prepared and more ready to be able to come back because, like she said, it was a little stressful. We
It
recorded
was.
numerous times. We
Yeah.
just didn't like the aesthetics.
Yeah, we was like, this something ain't right with this, you know. And when we changed our living room into the content creation space, I feel that kind of gave Michael the motivation to get his side together because he started off, I think, with like the mountain picture back there, and you had the decal on top.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember if at the time you had the two things that go on the side.
I don't think so.
And so when he saw my space, and then he was like, dang, that looks really good. And then he looked at his, and I remember he kind of gave it a look like, I don't like my space now. I want more. And I was like, well, this is your opportunity to invest in your background. Go ahead and get you like, you know, a couple things that can make it feel like yours. And so gradually he's been piecing together different things, and now it looks really, really good.
Yeah.
And the second thing we had to do, because we knew we were going to do podcasting. I already had a mic, but I was like, I really want to upgrade my mic. And then Michael was like, well, I really want a mic for my content. So he got his mic. Yeah. And then I fell in love with his mic. And I was like, well, I want that mic too. And so it's funny because we gifted each other our mics.
Yeah. So she bought my mic for my birthday.
Yeah.
And then I wound up buying her mic right there at Christmas time.
Yeah, because his birthday was in November. Yeah. And then I bought his mic. And I was like, dang, man, I don't even want to use my mic no more. And so he kind of took note of it, and he was like, here you go, Merry Christmas. And he got me the same mic for Christmas as well. So now we both have the mics for the podcast.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But I hope you guys enjoyed this.
Yeah, we do miss you.
Yeah, we miss you guys, and this felt a lot better than the last videos that we tried to record for y'all. So I think we're on the right road.
Real quick, we tried to do one video, and I like literally sound like news anchors.
We did.
I've
weird.
never done that before, but we were like, okay, and today we are going to discuss. And that's how we were talking.
Yeah, and we were like, back to you, Michael.
Yeah.
Like, so what is going on?
It was very structured, which I don't like.
We were a little rusty. I think we had got so used to recording our own content, like solo, but we tried to come back together to record together. Michael has gotten better with talking to the camera now by himself. And then I'm used to recording content by myself. And so when we tried to come back together, we were just like, taking turns, but it was like weird how we were taking turns. It was a whole thing.
Yeah, it was a little too professional.
It was a little too professional. No. But yeah, so that's all we have for you guys. Make sure that you stay tuned for our next episode because like I said, if you have been curious about the wedding specifically and you're like, y'all playing games, like what's going on with this? Listen to our next episode because we are going to go into detail about what's going on with us getting married, what our plans are for getting married and all those things.
Yeah, we got it planned out now as far as like what we want to do. And I'm in love with what we've decided. So
me too.
That's going to be a lot of fun to be able to discuss with you guys as well, too.
It is. All right. So if you've made it this far, I'm going to let Michael pick a word because he always pick a really good word for y'all to put in the comments.
Oh, yeah. So if you've made it this far, definitely put in quiche at the very end of this.
Quiche?
So that way, yeah.
Yeah, because he's been eating quiches.
I've been tearing quiches up. It's one of the reasons why I've been losing some weight. But anyhow, yeah. So if you made it this far, put in quiche at the very end.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.
All right. Bye.